Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I am Ayotunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, World Food Programme seeks more funding for food crisis in northeast Nigeria. Today is the Day of the African Child, and its focus is on empowerment and equal opportunity. And in politics, more groups draw up support for Governor Willie Obiano ahead of the Anambra governorship election. The lean season is pushing up already alarming rates of hunger and malnutrition across northeastern Nigeria, with roughly 5.2 million people currently facing extreme hunger. Increasingly worried about the situation, the World Food Programme, the WFP, is now seeking $172 million in humanitarian aid from donors for its response program.
Over 5 million people, many of them displaced from a conflict with Islamist group Boko Haram in Nigeria, are facing extreme hunger and are dependent on aid rations to survive. People should be planting next season's crop, but the Boko Haram insurgency continues to keep them from their fields. The UN's World Food Programme is now appealing for $172 million for its operations in the region as the lean season drives food prices up. In Adamawa State, WFP is using smartphone-based platform called Scope to register people and calculate the assistance required for their families. The system is meant to help improve response to people's needs and use of resources. 61-year-old Joshua Pala, a father of 13, fled with his family to escape fighting when Boko Haram attacked their village. They camped at a mountain surrounding their village and were forced to eat wild fruits and leaves for about 6 months before their village came under the control of government forces.
During one of the rainy seasons, Boko Haram invaded our village, and we ran towards this mountain and stayed there for about 6 months. We had no food there, and we were drinking water from ponds. We were eating tree leaves and wild fruit. We suffered a lot, as we left our homes without carrying anything.
Nigeria's northeast is now teetering on the brink of famine, aid organizations say, pointing to 2 years of missed crop harvests in what was once a breadbasket for the country and the high likelihood of missing a third. Many of those living in camps for displaced people say they already barely get enough to eat.
Nutrition is one of the greatest challenges in this area here, and within this camp specifically we've seen the rates drop from over 30% to about less than 10%. And this has been as a result of the food assistance we've had to provide in this location.
The approaching rainy season increases the risk of disease spreading, especially within camps for the displaced, adding more stress to efforts to respond to the humanitarian crisis.
In the meantime, the Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, is responding to the livelihood crisis in Adamawa State. The organization is providing agricultural inputs to support affected households sacked from their homes by the insurgency. This comes as millions continue to struggle with high levels of food insecurity in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states. The effects of insurgency in the northeast continue to bite hard on people affected, even as a survey conducted in March this year by the Food and Agriculture Organization and Federal Ministry of Agriculture says about 5.2 million people are struggling with high levels of food insecurity in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states. But that is about to change with the flagging off ceremony for the distribution of farm inputs, which the FAO says it's assisting about 41,000 rural households targeted at returning IDPs living in host communities in the 3 affected northeast states, starting with Adamawa. The FAO country representative gave reasons for the choice of the farm inputs.
To empower households of IDPs, returnees, and the host families also to get their own food production during the rainy season.
The Beneficiaries present at the event received the farm inputs such as maize, cowpea, assorted vegetable seeds and fertilizer. An appeal goes out to the beneficiaries not to divert the farm inputs for other uses.
We used to realize a lot of problems there. So we want to advise that these seeds should be used quickly for agriculture, for planting. It's for planting, not for direct food.
They have lost everything. It is going to be a very big assistance in their lives. When they plant these seeds and apply this fertilizer, we believe, since it has been distributed at the right time when seeds are being planted.
One of the beneficiaries appreciates the FAO for its assistance.
We thank you on behalf of all the women and other beneficiaries for this great favor you brought to us in our local government. As you return, kindly extend our appreciation to all other organizations that made this possible.
We are targeting IDPs to empower this household, to relieve this household. They are beginning into now recovery. They are getting into the recovery phase. So now agricultural livelihoods are really the best way to go through recovery, to fight hunger.
Indeed, the IDPs can now look forward to sustaining themselves as recovery efforts are ongoing by the FAO and other international donor agencies to help solve the challenge of food insecurity and malnutrition. 10 teenage girls trafficked from IDP camps in Benue State have been rescued by the state government and are now currently being rehabilitated. They were forcefully taken from their makeshift homes a while back following herdsmen attacks that displaced families in some 12 local government areas of Benue State. The children were brought back from Lagos, Edo and Abuja.
These minors are victims of attacks by herdsmen which hit 12 of 23 local government areas in Benue State, north-central Nigeria recently. They, alongside many other families displaced by the violence, were living in temporary shelters like Daudu IDP camp in Guma local government area. Their trauma was worsened after being forcefully removed from the facility by child traffickers. Governor Autumn is touched by this abuse.
I will encourage my colleagues from other states, especially those who are within this zone, so that we team up together and work towards eradicating human trafficking.
Listing Benue as one of the most endemic states in internal human trafficking, the Director General of NAPTIP also brings good news that 4 Benue indigents have been rescued from Burkina Faso, with over 300 traffickers already prosecuted.
In line with this, the Benue Zonal Command has embarked on massive sensitization campaigns across the state, especially the highly endemic areas, Konshisha, Boko, Guma, Gwe West, Gwe East, Oju, Obi, Kwande, Makodi, and so on.
These are just some of the victories won by NAPTIP in the war against human trafficking and kidnapping. Its awareness campaign to educate Nigerians is the most recent weapon launched to help eradicate the menace.
All right, we'll go on this break now, and when we return on the program, news across Nigeria. Today is the Day of the African Child, and its focus is on empowerment and equal opportunity for the young generation. Join us again.